You're listening to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon, presented by 92.9 Tom FM, an iHeart radio station.
Hello and welcome to Pop Culture Weekly. I'm Kyle McMahon. It is episode 24. I cannot believe it. And today is all about Madonna and her new Madam X album. I have a very special guest today on the rotating panel of guest hosts. It is my aunt, Kim O'Neill. Kim, welcome.
Thank you, Kyle, for having me.
Of course. Thanks for coming on. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Excellent. So let's start because we have a lot to talk about. Let's get right into what's out. What's out? All right. So what is out this week? Movies Men in Black International and the Shaft reboot. Have you seen the trailers for either of them?
I've seen them both.
What do you think?
I'm not so sure on these remakes. Some of these movies just need to be left alone.
What, for Shaft?
Especially for Shaft.
Yeah, it's gotten awful reviews too, but I do like some of the cast. Men in Black International, though, that's kind of like they're not really rebooting it, but they're like, I guess.
Remixing it.
Yeah, remixing it.
Because now you have a male and a female lead.
Yeah, and Chris Hemsworth, who I love, he's in it. So I actually want to see that one, but who knows when I'll actually go to see it. And then in music, Madam X, Madonna's new album is out, and we're going to talk all about that in our feature presentation. So you're excited about that?
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, that was a short What's Out segment today. Let's get into what we consume this week. What we consume this week. Okay. So I consumed the Dark Phoenix movie, the X-Men. You know what I'm talking about?
I do, and that's one that looks pretty interesting to me that I would actually probably go see.
It was awful.
Really?
Yeah, it was really bad. Not as bad as X-Men Apocalypse, which was the last one, the one that came out before that.
Yeah, I missed that one.
You're lucky that you missed that one because that was pretty awful. This one is not as bad, but it's bad. I'm so glad that Disney bought Fox because now the X-Men will be back with Marvel, which is where they should be. So we're going to get Kevin Feige, who's like the godfather of all the Marvel movies under Disney.
Right. He's
going to get the X-Men now, and they'll be done the right way. It was just a mess of a movie, and I don't know. I didn't like it. It was okay, but it was definitely wasn't a good movie. And it definitely wasn't an X-Men movie. So, what did you watch this week?
What did I watch this week? Well, on Netflix, I did get to see What If.
What's that?
What If is, it's very interesting. It makes you question if you would take what happens in this movie. I can't tell you because it would give the whole thing away.
Oh, so it's like a situation that happens that they're asking what if? Like, what would you do, or what if this happened?
Kind of, sort of, yeah. It's very interesting. And after watching about 2 episodes, it was really annoying me of who the lead character, female character, was. And I couldn't figure it out until I had to finally give in and look it up. And it ended up being Renee Zellweger.
Yeah, who looks different than she used to.
And that's exactly what happened. I'm like, wow, your face has changed.
Yeah. What else did you see this week?
What else have I seen this week? Not much. I haven't had a lot of time. What was it? When You See Me?
When They See Us.
That's it. When They See Us. Wow.
Ava DuVernay. And actually, I interviewed the star of When They See Us, Christopher Jackson, in last week's episode, and he is such an awesome guy. So that is an incredible movie. I absolutely loved it.
It was. It made me angry. It made me sad, to see this happen to children, first of all.
Yeah.
I mean, just a human being in general, but 2 children and how they got information they should have never gotten. They got people to lie. Oh, it was horrible. I wanted to go through the TV so many times.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is amazing. And Ava DuVernay, so is in a little movie called Selma.
No, I did not. Ha ha.
That won an Oscar. And and Ava directed Selma, and then she directed this as well. And I told Christopher that she treated me with my tiny little part, teeny tiny little part, and like gold, just like she was treating the big stars. And I just thought that was so nice of her, that she treated everybody with respect. Even at the tent, when we broke for lunch, there was no like, oh, this is like the stars seating, and this is, everybody just sat wherever together. She's awesome.
Well, she did treat you like a senator that you did play in that movie. And Kyle did get to play our Delaware senator.
Yeah.
And it's
my
a
home
road
state.
And we all travel on it, John Williams Highway.
Right. Yep. Senator John J. Williams.
So that was funny that Kyle actually got to play a senator from Delaware in his movie part.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all that I saw this week. I consumed Madam X, but we're going to talk about that in a few moments. Anything else?
Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about her in a minute too.
Okay.
Because her new album comes out. Actually, we're going to talk about that in Hot Clips. Let's get right into it. Hot Clips. All right. So this week's Hot Clips, that was a perfect segue, Kim, into our first topic on Hot Clips, the new Taylor Swift song that she released, You Need to Calm Down. Have you heard it?
Tell me that. That's rude. How do you tell your aunt to calm down?
Have you heard the song?
I have.
I love it.
It was interesting at first. I was like, wait, what? We're going back to really poppy, girl. What are you doing?
Super pop.
Especially after Reputation. I actually did love the Reputation album.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. So You Need to Calm Down sounds like a Pride song. You know what I mean? There's lots of references to the stigma of homosexuality and all that. So this was kind of, I guess it's Pride Month, so I guess it kind of makes sense. And then she did a surprise appearance at the Stonewall Inn, which is a historical site for, I guess, homosexual history. Well, all history, but in particular for homosexuals because of what happened there. So I thought that was really cool that she did a surprise appearance there and did a little performance. That was awesome of her.
Yeah, it made sense with the song.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Taylor Swift so much. She's so awesome. All right, what else? Toy Story 4 has a perfect 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. That comes out in a couple weeks. I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah, that's one I definitely want to hit up in the movie theater.
Every single Toy Story has been perfect to me.
So I don't know if you saw, I don't know what I was watching, but Tom Hanks must have been at the opener for this movie, and he's trying to get in the theater, and you see all of a sudden he looks up and he sees who? Woody. Goes right over to Woody and starts hugging on Woody. I thought that was absolutely adorable.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is the best. I'm really looking forward to this. I don't think Pixar's ever made a bad movie.
No, I don't think so either. I even like their little short movies.
Yeah.
Short clips that they either play before or after.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fun. I like those.
Yeah, they are geniuses over there at Pixar. I guess that's it for Hot Clips. It's short Hot Clips, so we can talk about Madam X, which is our feature presentation. Our feature presentation. Madonna and Madam X, the new album. What do you think?
Well, as all my family and friends know, I've been following this woman, not as a stalker, since the beginning. I've been on every single tour that she has done in the Philadelphia area. Watched her grow, watched her change, watched her do her chameleon thing. This album, I have a question mark. I'm not quite sure what is going on. This is really a big change for her. I mean, it slightly reminds me of American Life, where she did have a big political
stance,
not agenda,
or whatever.
but yeah, it was more political. Yeah, I see this with that a little bit, but then it curves off, and I'm not quite sure where we're going.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not her normal dance pop,
Right.
but it's also not as severe as the American Life album is with the politics.
Yeah.
But then we go back to the girly show stuff where it was the circus atmosphere and fun and you bounced around. And I'm not quite sure. Songs are growing on me, but I'm not quite sure yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great album. It's not as, for me, it's not as immediately commercial as all her other songs,
Oh,
her
absolutely.
other albums, you know. Every other album she's done, for me, as you listen to it once and you know which ones you absolutely love. This one, as I listen to it, I mean, I love Medellin, I love Future, I love Crave, and of the Buzz singles that came out, but the other, you know, as the album as a whole, I listened to it and I was like, it's not like it's super commercial, like you could hear every song on the radio, but different ones have been growing on me already, like Faj Gustoso featuring Anita. I love, love, love that song. And when I heard it the first time, I was like, what? And then I listened to it again and I was like, oh my God, this is awesome, blah, blah, blah. So it's different. I don't know how else to describe it.
You just have to listen to it and you take it for what it is. You're not going to get 1983 like a virgin.
Yeah.
You're going to get Madonna has done it again. She has changed up and she's going to do what she wants to do and how she wants to do it, as we all know she does.
Yep.
Again, like I said, I got to keep listening and more songs are growing on me, but like right now I really like I Rise.
Oh yeah.
I really do like that one.
Yeah, it's a great song.
And of course Crave.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite song. And it's also the first U.S. single. The other ones were Buzz singles where they release them, you know, to get buzz going, but not as an actual single, where Crave is actually the first U.S. single.
And that's funny because I thought Medellin should have been because of the Latin beat. I mean, you can't listen
that was
to
released,
it and not dance.
Yeah, and I love Medellin, but that was released to the rest of the world.
Right. And
then Crave U.S. we got Crave.
And speaking of Medellin, when she did the award show.
Yeah.
With Maluma, oh my, hello. I need to learn Spanish, by the way. Again, she struck out again. Who's the artist who just used what? Augmented reality?
Yeah. You mean not struck out.
Yes, I did.
Not struck out like baseball.
Oh, no, not like baseball, but, you know, she's the first one that came out.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Here we are. Look what I'm doing now.
Right. And yeah, the first one to use AR.
Right.
And live performance on television. That's crazy.
Right, and which was actually cool because going, again, to one of her other concerts where she actually did Vogue, and she did something similar where she had her dancers dress up in all of her past characters.
She's Not Me, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's it. She's Not Me, and it was really cool to see how she intertwined her dancers and saying, you know, here she was like when 1985 MTV Awards when she came out in that big headdress and the Elizabethan dress and and she had all those characters from all these years and these albums, but this time they were actually her dressed in all those things.
Yeah, it was cool because she introduced all the characters of Madame X in that one performance.
Right.
Of the album, which we didn't know until I guess it came out.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it was really, really awesome performance. And we talked about that, I guess the week that it happened, last month or so. And it was, well, nobody had ever seen anything like it.
Exactly. And there she goes again.
Yeah. Yeah, Dark Ballet, that video is really, really interesting with Mickey Blanco, I think is his name, who plays Joan of Arc. In the video or whatever, which she seems to have a preoccupation with the Joan of Arc, you know?
Yep, because she had a song, Joan of Arc.
Right. Was it Rebel Heart?
Was it Rebel?
Yeah.
I think it was Rebel Heart.
Yeah, so that was a really cool video. Actually, the Medellin video was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like classic Madonna video with, you know, dancing and super high quality production values, and Crave is really cool too, and she looks incredible.
Yeah, I don't know what she's doing, but she's doing something right.
Yeah, I mean,
if I could be 60 and still move like she does.
yeah, let alone look like that. I mean, and you see her on, on video and interviews and stuff. It's obviously not like photoshopped. I mean, you see her live, and she
Right.
still looks like that.
Right. I mean,
Incredible.
We got actually, Kyle and I, very, very close to a stage.
Literally against the stage.
Well, a couple times,
yeah,
actually.
every time.
And it was the one year that Kelly Ripa had gone to the concert and showed herself singing with Madonna. And I was like, come on, when's it my turn? I've been following this woman, again, not stalker, following this woman's career, go to these concerts. Of course, I get these nosebleed seats. Can I just go down and sing with her just one time? Well, guess what happened? Here she comes walking with the microphone, puts the microphone right down in me and Kyle's face. I push Kyle out of the way. I said, this is my turn. And I just go singing away. But then here comes Kyle back. I'm like, come on, man, it's my turn. And she almost didn't get the microphone back.
Yeah.
Embarrassed to say, but not embarrassed to say, yeah, that happened.
It was going to be the Kim show.
Oh, absolutely. I was ready to get up and start dancing.
Yeah, so on Madam X, it's definitely not. I think it's definitely her riskiest album yet in regards, or you could say bravest album yet, because you can tell with this she doesn't care. She's not going for chart hits.
No, she's absolutely not. Again, she's doing
Her own thing.
Her own thing again. But what's going to happen is here comes the next star. They're going to say, you know what? I don't really want to do this album this way anymore. I want to do my own thing. And that's what happens actually in the industry. I mean, let's go back to looking at Pink.
Right.
Look at Pink and L.A. Reid. She didn't see her career going where she wanted, and she took a huge risk and took over her career and said, I'm going this way. And look what happened to her.
Yeah.
Hey, it works out.
Yeah.
So the woman knows what she's doing, apparently, because she's been around a long time. Love her or hate her, talk is talk.
Yep. 37 years. And speaking of, it just debuted at #1 in 60 countries, which is insane. 37 years into her career. It is her 9th album that debuted at #1. And it actually, so Rebel Heart debuted at #2 because, remember, it leaked?
Yes.
So what had happened, for you listening at home if you're not aware, it leaked like 6 months before the whole thing. 6 months before it was supposed to come out. So then they had to rush release it, and instead of releasing the whole album, it was like 4 songs were released at first, and then a couple weeks later, so it ended up charting at #2 because of ineligibility of how it was released, which broke her streak of like 5 albums opening up at #1 in a row. But she's back to #1 with this one, so 60 countries. That's insane. 37 years into her career.
It's absolutely amazing. And then to think about, she's been all over the world.
Yeah.
I mean, the world. I would love to be on tour just for travel alone. I mean, my gosh, it's amazing when you see the people that they just love her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and that's a testament. 37 years. There's nobody who, is a global superstar that Madonna is. The ones that were really just Michael Jackson was probably her only equal, and even he had petered out at the last 10 years of his career.
Yeah, well, I think he more went to be a family man, raise his kids,
right,
versus put all his effort into making the albums and music, whereas I have to give this woman credit pretty much being a single mom.
Yeah, of like 14 kids.
Yeah, I mean...
No, I think it's 4?
Well, she's got 2 of her own, and then she adopted, I thought, 4.
Yeah, so 6.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I forget. But, yes, I get it. Everybody's probably thinking, well, she's a multimillionaire. She probably has nannies. I hate to say it. She's that much of the control freak. She really doesn't have, staff.
Yeah.
So she's hand-raising her children and doing music and, going on these tours. It's crazy. Yeah,
which brings us to the Madam X tour, which is extremely interesting. because, normally she sells out multiple nights in a row of stadiums at each stop, or multiple nights in a row of an arena at each stop. I mean, it was, with the last tour, it was like 3 nights in a row at the Yankee Stadium or something.
Yeah, which is unheard of.
Yeah. It was the first artist to ever do it, and crazy. So here's another example of her doing whatever she wants, and she's doing theaters.
Yeah. What was that? I was like, wait, what is a theater? What does that mean? Are we calling stadiums theaters?
Right.
I'm like, is she going to change the names of like Yankee Stadium to it's a theater?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so I was like, all right, so we're going to call it a theater, and it's going to be like kind of weird. All right, I'm in for it. Let's do this. No. These are like theaters you go to see a play in.
Yeah.
It's that type of theater. It's, again, she's blowing my mind.
Yeah. I mean, so she's doing 17 nights at the theater in New York, 15 nights in LA. I mean, so it's a very interesting strategy. But this album, I don't think, is made for stadiums. You know what I mean?
It's not. And that's, we had just discussed that, is about, I was trying to figure out, how do we remix these songs to be what I'm used to seeing on the stage.
Right.
She comes out and she hits the floor dancing, and for 2 hours, it's dancing.
Yeah.
And these songs, a few of them are danceable.
Yeah.
But again, this album has a big turn on it, and I'm trying to figure out, are we going to have to sit the whole time? I can't sit at a Madonna concert. That's not a Madonna concert. I clearly remember her yelling
At people that would sit?
at people that were sitting down at her concert.
Yeah.
Remember, she was like, oh, well, I don't know why I'm here if you're just going to sit there. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I know.
But yeah, I mean, I have a feeling from what she said, and remember on the Rebel Heart tour, she kind of attempted this as like an experiment with Tears of a Clown in Australia.
Yes.
As like a thank you to them for waiting for 17 years or whatever it was to see her live.
Right.
And she really enjoyed doing it, like an intimate performance like that. And then she mentioned in a couple interviews back then, I would like to do some theaters. And I think nobody took her seriously.
Right.
And that.
The Tears of a Clown, actually, because didn't she bring that back to New York or something? Did it like a few really small?
She did it in at Art Basel in Miami for a charity.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
We couldn't go. Darn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she did. She really loved it. I just think this, again, is another turn where she says, well, I might not be able to be in a play, but I could do my music in a theater, maybe as a more theatrical,
like intimate setting.
like, versus her jumping around at 60 again.
Yeah.
But still, I still want to see Madonna jumping around.
Yeah, I am looking forward to the Madam X tour. Oh, and the other thing is, she's in Portugal for a while because of her son playing football, what we know as soccer.
Right.
And in Portugal, people will just like go like on a Friday night, after the bar or club or whatever, they'll go to somebody's house and they call them like living room sessions,
Right.
where people, whatever you play, you just come. If you don't play anything, you clap or whatever,
Right.
and just people just play music. So I have a feeling that this tour is going to be kind of like that, where it's like an intimate living room session.
Right. And if you remember, she's actually done stuff like that in her concerts in the past.
Yeah, yeah.
Where, remember, they sat and they just kind of, they did the Spanish.
Yeah.
La Isla Bonita
Yep.
was one of them, where they played, instead of drums, they were playing boxes with their hands.
Right.
And good old Monte Pittman.
Shout out. We're going to have, he's going to talk a little bit about Madonna in this episode. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah, so there was Monte unplugged acoustic.
Yeah.
And even Madam X herself would play acoustically. And it was like just a party.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing but her voice, some boxes, Monty playing, and some people rolling around dancing and clapping, and it was just like a party in your living room.
Yeah.
So she's actually kind of
done it before.
Yeah. Remember she had the guest singers
Go-Go Bordello.
Yeah, I forget where they were from.
They were like from
Romania,
Romania, yeah.
Yeah. And oh my God, first of all, their voices were absolutely amazing. So I thought it was cool that she brings these people that you've never heard of, and now like there's some of my favorite music.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, where'd you learn about them? I'm like, believe it or not, Madonna concert.
Yeah.
And she did it with them where they came out and like surrounded her, and they all like 4 of them sang one of her songs like a cappella.
Right.
Which was
you're talking about
awesome.
They're like chanting they're like kind of like the church choir
remember
people.
When when she came out and she was on her knees praying, and
I forget their name, but yeah. I was talking about the other when she did it on Sticky and Sweet tour with Go Bordello or whatever. They were like the kind of gypsy band.
Oh yeah, they were really good.
Yeah. So I mean, she's done it for ever.
Well, at least the last 3 tours,
which is 10 years.
Because this last one, what she did really, where did that come from? Yes, everybody, I make fun of myself. Where she came out and she had her ukulele.
Yeah. Yep.
And she sang
True Blue.
No. Well, I guess one of the times she did, but no, she sang it was the French song.
Oh yeah, La Vie en Rose.
Right.
Yeah.
And she sang it in French.
Yeah. And she did really well.
And she did really well playing that uke. So she's kind of been doing it, but she's incorporated it into her huge production.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
So I think she might be cutting out the huge production and maybe just doing these little shows. We're going to find out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And I do hope, I mean, this will be great, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it, but I do hope next tour she goes back to stadiums and arenas. And
Absolutely. I think, like, again, all artists have to try different things.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't stick to one thing and be number one forever.
37 years, yeah.
Because people get bored with it. You can't stay sugar spice, poppy. You got to dig in and start getting, if you're a true artist and you're writing your songs, some of your stuff isn't happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, this is a very different era for her, and I'm excited. All the visuals, she's been doing a ton of promotion. Even the promotional stuff she's doing is not... She's doing a thing with iHeart coming up this week, depending on when you listen to this, and it is an intimate evening with Madonna, I think it's called, where she's doing some songs that are going to be just acoustic. Like, I think that's what this whole era is downbeat, like low-key kind of stuff, which is shocking for Madonna.
It is, but again, change is good.
Yep.
As long as it's just a change for now.
Right.
I want to go back. I love the remixes. A lot of her old stuff. I love the remixes when they come out.
Yeah, when they like redo them for the tour.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I didn't think about mixing that song with that song. How cool is that? Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, Madam X is out now. You can get it on the iHeart Radio app, or you can get the CD, or you can, wherever you get your music. Kim, are you going to stick around to listen to some of what I talked to Monty about regarding Madonna, some Madonna stories?
Absolutely. We love Monty.
Yes, he's incredible. All right, let's talk to Monte Pittman. Now I have singer, songwriter, producer, rock god, Monte Pittman. Hey, Monty.
Hey, dude, what's going on?
How are you? Welcome to Pop Culture Weekly.
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's start at the beginning. You are from Longview, Texas. You started playing guitar when you were 13?
Yes, I started playing guitar when I was 13.
And you formed the band My Remains, right?
Yeah, we were a local band there in Texas, and I played my first gig when I was 14.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And how did that go? How did you finagle that?
It was actually it was hard for us to book a show because we did it at a teen club and we weren't old enough to get in. somehow they snuck me in. We didn't even have identification, so I don't know why that even needed to happen, but we were very honest. So
That's awesome. And My Remain still has some fans today.
that's a band that people still talk about to this day in that area. That's a really, really cool thing.
And then
It's almost become a legend because, we don't have any music that's out there that you could listen to. You can find a few things on YouTube
right.
that people have put up, but that's it.
Yeah, that is kind of funny. It's kind of like a folktale, but real.
Yeah, the Dallas Observer did a really cool story on us within the last couple of years about that, how the perception changes because people just hear the stories, because we had such great times and such great shows, but it was before like what you have today where you're going to film everything on your phone, and so people got to experience it, and they have the memories of it to talk about.
Right.
And they actually remember it. They were there and they actually remember it. That's pretty miraculous.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Not many people can say that about their first band, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, usually if you were at one of our shows, there may be a situation where you wouldn't remember it.
Okay. I was going to make a joke, but you made it.
I beat you to it.
Yeah. So then, how old were you when you moved to L.A.?
I was 23.
And then you began teaching lessons at Guitar Center, right?
Well, I didn't start teaching lessons at Guitar Center, but I worked at Guitar Center. From working there, that's when I quit to start teaching, because people would come in looking for guitar teachers, and we didn't have anyone. There wasn't anyone that taught there, and there was a couple people who you'd have their card. You'd give a customer the card of somebody, you'd say, like, call this guy for guitar lessons. And they would always come back and say, like, you got anybody else? And I'm like, well, that's what I used to do, when I lived in Texas. And I taught as an apprentice to my teacher as part of my guitar lessons, him teaching me. He made it to where, like, if I had to teach, I had to really understand something to teach. Because there's a big difference in just being able to play something and being able to explain it to someone and they understand it.
Right.
So I had a couple of people, Johnny Resnick came into the store. Guitar Center in Hollywood, everybody would come into the store. Like, there was a lot of, every day, it was like just one after another. Somebody you'd see on TV, somebody from a band. Like, one time, the story I like to tell is I helped David Carradine with guitar strings. He was looking for a certain kind of guitar string, so I helped him find it.
Wow.
And he wasn't wearing any shoes. He was barefoot.
Because it's Hollywood.
Weird, random Hollywood story right there. So Johnny wanted me to teach him, and that's what got me to first start. He was asking for guitar teachers, and I'm like, well, what do you need a guitar teacher for? You already have, hit songs on the radio. Right. And you already know how to play. And he's like, I want to study some more open tunings. And I was like, well, I could teach you that. And I was like, I'll start teaching him. But we never actually connected. That did sort of like that spark of, hey, I could teach here.
Right.
So I quit Guitar Center, and then I started teaching.
Okay, gotcha. And then you came across Guy Ritchie, who happened at the time to be married to the most successful female artist ever. And how did that come about?
Well, Guy's assistant, he called Guitar Center saying, do you recommend any guitar teachers? And I had just quit. And they said, yeah, here's a guy. So then Guy's assistant, Nathan, called me, and then he just said, hey, I need to get guitar lessons for my boss. So then I started teaching Guy, and he was dating Madonna at the time.
Okay.
It was before she had Rocco, and right before the music album came out.
Okay.
So that's how how all that transpired. Is I was going over to her house, teaching her then boyfriend, and then she and I became friends that way.
Right.
It was a really cool relationship. And then I started teaching her, and then she asked me to come play on David Letterman with her.
Where she debuted Don't Tell Me, right?
Yeah, I guess that's the debut. I mean, that was right when that song came out, and we did an acoustic version of that. From there on, she started asking me to come. She hadn't toured in 7 years, and so she asked me to come on tour and play guitar for her. Keeps asking me back. almost 20 years later.
Yeah, that's insane. That is insane. And from that, you ended up writing with her. You did Easy Ride, Hey You, It's So Cool. Easy Ride is a huge fan favorite to this day.
Yeah, Easy Ride is pretty much the main one. The other ones are just kind of like bonus things. But what's interesting about that album, the whole American Life album, is it came out right when the U.S. was going to war overseas, in the Middle East. And if you were to say anything bad, if you were to give your opinion about saying, no, we shouldn't do this is a bad idea, that was it. That could ruin your career. Some people it did.
Right.
And I remember when Madonna's manager showed me the video for American Life, and in the video you have actors playing George Bush and Saddam Hussein. At the end of the video, they kiss each other. And so I was saying, okay, that's definitely going to ruffle some feathers. And right after that, George Bush announced that we're going to go to war, and that all of that was going to start. So at the time, that album was controversial, and a lot of people didn't like that she was speaking out against the war.
Right.
But now, especially more recently, that album is so relevant with the themes and the lyrics and the production that Mirwais did, a producer who did that album, is just groundbreaking, and no one has touched that.
No.
There's other things that she's done and people have been influenced by, but that is a production that is not easy to copy.
Yeah, and
so if I was to write something with her that would make an album and last forever, essentially, I'm glad that it's that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of my favorite albums of hers. And as you said, it is still relevant today in the production, in the songwriting, in the melodies. Everything about that album is incredible. It is, to me, a completely underrated album for as amazing as it is.
Thank you.
And so, touring with Madonna, you have done Live 8, you've done Live Earth, you did the Super Bowl, which was the first Super Bowl in history where the halftime show got more viewers than the game itself, which is nuts. How did that feel? I mean, you've done these gigantic shows all over the world on the world's biggest stages. What is that like for you?
We rehearse so much that you don't have time to be nervous. You're very comfortable with what you're doing. There's the excitement and the anticipation, but I wouldn't call it being nervous. But I was thinking when we did like the Super Bowl, if you put all three of those together just alone, but you think about like everybody that you've ever met at that time is probably seeing this.
Yeah.
That's what I thought about with the Super Bowl, because my part is still minimal, but it's almost like I just had the best seat in the house.
Right.
But I was thinking, anybody that I went to school with, like maybe somebody I was in middle school with or elementary school that moved off, and I may never see this person again, but they could be watching this.
Right.
That's just crazy.
And now that you point that out, it's also weird that anybody that you haven't met yet that you eventually will has probably seen that performance.
Yeah, there's that too. That's a crazy thing to think about right there. That's
right.
Part of the fun. That's part of the fun.
Yeah, I mean, you could meet somebody tomorrow that you've never met before, and they're like, oh yeah, I saw the Madonna Super Bowl performance. I saw the Live Earth. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
I never really think about it while it's happening. It's just something you kind of look back on.
Right. So
I'm too close to it while it's happening.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Her new song with Maluma and produced by Mirwais is I'm loving it. I love that it's like fresh and exciting, and in my opinion there's nothing else like it on the radio, and I love that about that song.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like it a lot too, and I think once summer gets here, it'll be like one of those songs that you hear everywhere you go.
Yeah, and that 1, 2, cha cha cha, like there's so many hooks in that song. There's so many catchy parts. It's
incredible.
Yes, it is. I had never heard of Mayuma before.
Really?
And yeah, no, I haven't. But he obviously is very, very talented and massive in his market of music.
Right. I am excited for this new Madonna era, and I am excited for you to be a part of it.
Yeah, I hope so. Me too.
And you know,
I don't have any info yet, but I know that she's coming out with a new album, so I hope she does something to promote it.
Absolutely. Yeah, me too. So, one other thing on Madonna, it's been very interesting from my point of view to watch how musical she actually is. And what I mean by that is, you've been with her for almost 20 years, and there's always a live band there. The band is always part of the show. It is very musical. You know what I'm saying? And I love that about her. I love that about the show. Their performances that she does. I love that there's live musicians playing as opposed to just a track playing and somebody dancing on stage.
That's great. I'm glad that you like that. I'm very happy for you. No, just keep it. That's great. I'm really happy for you.
Okay.
Yeah, there's always something for everybody at one of her shows, and there's always something cutting edge and new to discover that you wind up seeing people copy years after.
Absolutely. And I met you originally at the Drowned World Tour. It's been awesome to see the evolution of you as an artist with Madonna. Do you know what I mean?
Thanks. That's another thing that you don't really notice it while it's happening. You just kind of look back on it all.
Right.
Evolution, that's for sure.
Yeah, and even like your fashion, your hair, I remember with Drowned World, you had your hair was kind of like a little bit shorter on the sides and like longer up top. Like, you had the Rock God shirt. I've loved watching.
Thank you. Yeah, that's all. She has an amazing hair and makeup team. I did have long hair, and she said, my hair was long, and she's like, you need a haircut. And I wasn't very happy about that. But, if you're going to do that, it's great to have one of the top people who does that cut your hair. So
Yeah.
it's like, I kind of like this now, too.
Right.
And then I always get bored with, I'll grow it out, I'll cut it off.
Yeah.
And then I'll miss it, and I'll grow it out again. And I'm always indecisive about that. And on the reinvention tour, they wanted to put a wig mohawk on me, and I was like, no way. So I just shaved my head so they couldn't do that.
That is awesome and rebellious. I love it. So you have also played with Prong and Adam Lambert. I mean, you've had a huge number, and this is besides your solo work, which we're going to get into in a moment. Well, actually, let's get into your solo work. So your first album.
Yeah, let's get into that.
How did your first album fit into all of this?
Well, when I moved to LA, I just wanted to work as a guitar player. I wanted to either start a band or join a band. There was no rules or limits. It would have been great to bring my band out from Texas. I think we could have, if we were seen by the right person at the right time, we could have been one of the biggest bands of that time, and still now, if it worked out that way. We definitely had the talent and the skills. We just didn't have someone to guide us.
Right.
If we would have had a producer, we were just getting into that when we broke up. Sterling Winfield worked with us on our last album, and just as that was happening is when we split up, and we were going to do our what would have been our next album at Dimebag Darrell's house in his studio, and Sterling was going to do it, but then that never happened. Of course, that's something looking back I wish I had now. But also, I look at it as I moved to LA right when I was supposed to.
Absolutely.
If I would have left a week earlier or a week later, things wouldn't have worked out the way they have.
Exactly.
So that's kind of one of those things that taps you on the shoulder and says that everything's meant to happen as it happens, or everything happens for a reason, however you want to look at it. But in between, I would play with Madonna, and then when I was done with that, I would play with Prong, and I would go back and forth. But at the end of the day, I wanted to make my own band. And I was doing these shows. This thing was called Club Makeup, and it was first Saturday of every month. And it'd be a different theme. It's kind of the El Rey Theater, and it was a different theme. One month would be Prince, one month would be David Bowie, one Kiss, whatever. And all the different singers are from these different theater shows, like musicals. So these singers were amazing. That's how I was like, you guys must know some other singers who are amazing. I want to start a band, and who's the best singer you know? And so that's how I got introduced to Adam Lambert. And then we started a band, and then he went on American Idol.
Right.
And when he went on American Idol, I knew that, okay, this, he's going to wind up become a superstar.
Right.
He did.
Right.
And so I was kind of like, I had prong for my heavy, and I was really I wanted to do acoustic stuff. So I made an acoustic album, and that's my first album, The Deepest Dark.
Right.
So then I just released that on CD Baby. And then after Adam was done with American Idol, he was like, well, now I want you to play guitar for me. So then he did a tour, and then I went on tour with him. And then he started with Queen. So there was all this stuff that was going on then, but a lot that no one could really talk about at the time, because he had Queen starting up. I had the Super Bowl starting up.
Right.
And, neither of us could talk about either, but that was kind of it. That's the last time we played together. And then I put out my second album. It's called Pain, Love, and Destiny. I used Kickstarter for that.
Yeah, I love that album.
Thank you. Raised $65,000 for that, which that was just another step. After that, I made for my next album. I wanted to make a heavy album. Well, I had all these different songs I wrote, and I met the producer Fleming Rasmussen. Fleming is known for doing Metallica's early albums. He did Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Injustice for All. Those are the albums those are my favorite albums growing up. Those are the albums that changed my life.
Right.
And so I gave him all my songs, and he said, I like all this. He goes, but this heavy stuff is what you're really good at, and this is what I want to record of you. So then I made plans, and I went to Copenhagen. That's where Metallica did Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets, and we did an album there. When I was done with it, I just, as another random chain of coincidences, I played it for Brian Slagle at Metal Blade Records, and I was like, what do I do with this? Do I put out another album by myself? Do you know anybody who should I send this to? And he said, well, I'll take it. And I thought, well, I'm not heavy enough for Metal Blade. And he said, no. And actually, as crazy as it is, he's who signed the Goo Goo Dolls.
Wow.
And there's another weird connection.
Yeah.
Years later.
Right.
So I signed to Metal Blade, and from there on, I did the next album is called Inverted Grasp of Balance, and Richard Christie played drums. Richard Christie's on the Howard Stern show. He does all the funny phone calls.
Right.
And Billy Sheehan played bass on it. Billy Sheehan's one of the best bass players ever.
Absolutely. He's worked with Steve Vai and David Lee Roth.
Yes. Yeah, that's who that is. And so that album was a more like modern, technical kind of album. That was an album where I had someone say, here's what you need to be doing, other than me just kind of making the music that I wanted to make. Someone saying, you need to show off the guitar playing some more, and think about live when you're playing, having some more like up-tempo stuff. So that's how that came about. Then it was time to make another album, and I told Brian, I said, I have enough material where I could do an acoustic album and a heavy album. I said, what if I did two albums? I said, has anyone ever put out two completely different albums on the same day? And can I do that? And he said, sure. If that's what you want to do, sure.
Which is amazing.
That came out at the end of August. The heavy album is called Between the Space, and the acoustic album is called Better or Worse.
Yes, I love both of those. I've loved all of your work. And what was, when you released those two albums, what did you find? Because, I was following it as they were released, and I found people's favorites were all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like it seemed like everybody enjoyed all of the songs that you had put out with those two albums. What do you think the response was like with that? Because that is kind of like a new frontier in that respect.
It's always different. What I've noticed is it seems like if I put out an album, people go back to the album before. Because when I put out these albums, all of a sudden people were talking about Inverted Grasp of Balance. And when I put out Inverted Grasp of Balance, it seems I felt like that didn't get a lot of attention. But then people were going back going, oh, The Power of Three, that's the album I did with Fleming that got me signed to Metal Blade. They're like, oh, The Power of Three, that's one of my favorite Metal Blade albums in their whole catalog of music. So I don't know. People may not listen to these two new albums until I do the next album. Just seems like that's how it goes. But yeah, another thing, so after these albums came out, I went out on tour opening for Sebastian Bach. So then you see the response of what works live. And then also, I'm at the point where you can only do your best song off of each album in your set list, because that's all the time you have to do.
Right.
And then you are in the territory of you can just perform a dynamite set list.
Right. Yeah, I saw you, it was just a few months ago when you were in Philly, and the crowd was insane. You were putting on a show. You know what I mean? It was a show.
Yeah, you have to do that. You can't just stand there and play. You want to make it entertaining, and it's got to be fun.
Absolutely.
That's what I want it to be fun, and I'll come out kind of hard and heavy, maybe some of the more technical stuff to get your attention, and then break it down where it'll just be me on the acoustic. So that's why I throw in the acoustic stuff, and that just sort of sucks the dynamic in where everybody's, you can hear a pin drop, and then you bring it back up, and then I'll play. That's where you're ending the set with the songs that are your most popular songs.
Right.
And there you go.
Yeah, and it was awesome to watch. It was the whole show was like a cohesive experience. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like you made it a whole cohesive piece, and I loved that. And the crowd loved it.
It was a lot of fun. And then I went on tour with Tony McAlpine earlier this year. And Tony is known as one of the top guitar shredders. He came out when guitar shredding was like the hottest thing in the late 80s. And he's had a very versatile career, like where he's just keeps putting out great music and just some of the most exceptional guitar playing and piano playing that you can hear. His band, I was saying, like his band is some of the best musicians I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
And so that changed, doing both of those tours. I look at me for touring on my own right now. It's all about making mistakes, kind of. Or, failure. Like, what are you going to learn from your failure?
Right.
And just to make yourself better. Sebastian, I learned what I want, what I need to be doing, and what I don't need to be doing. Sebastian helped me a lot with vocals and singing. And with Tony, just being around that guy just completely changed my guitar playing, 100%. I became such a better guitar player from being on tour with Tony and being around him. Like, I'd wake up, I'd look at my bunk, because we were on the same bus. I look at the bunk, and he's already been practicing.
Right.
Like, he's already played all his songs before I even wake up. And I was like, yeah, I got to practice more.
And you've won a ton of awards. You were up for Male Singer-Songwriter at the Los Angeles Music Awards. You were honored by the Hollywood Fame Awards with the Career Achievement Award for a guitarist, which is incredible. I mean, you have the validation from other artists, which I think is important.
Yeah, that's another thing, that you can't. I never pay attention to any of that.
Right.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I do it for you.
It's like I'm just now hearing about it now. Like, what? When is this?
Right.
Oh, it was in 2011.
Right.
Last year, Metal Injection, the top metal website, got nominated for one of the top guitar players in 2018. And my friend Alex Skolnick from Testament was also in there, and we were just joking around with each other. And he said. He's like, all right, we're friends and all. He goes, but this is war. We're laughing. And I said, all right, well, don't hurt me too bad.
Right.
And he goes, oh, it's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. So it's good. I'm honored to be in the category with some of the best guitar players out there. I don't even deserve to be in that list, I feel like.
Yes, you do. Your work is incredible.
Such amazing guitar players.
Well, and actually,
and I don't want to think like that. I just want to. I like to keep trying to get to be better. I like to always feel like that was nothing. I could do so much better. That's a great way to keep improving.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and they actually made a Monte Pittman signature guitar, right?
Yes, with Jarrell guitars. I met them at NAMM. They were making killer guitars, and he offered me. He said, "Hey, I want to make a signature guitar for somebody. I want to make you a signature guitar." And I say, "Where I come from, then you don't say no to that." Right. And that's what I played at the Super Bowl.
How awesome is that to have a signature guitar, the Monte Pittman signature guitar?
Yeah, I mean, since then I switched. I don't know what. I think the guitar company kind of stopped.
Right.
And then I switched, and I went over to ESP guitars, which I don't have a signature guitar, but I felt like that was another step in improving my guitar playing. Like when I first got an ESP, I didn't want to put it down. I felt like I was 13 again getting my first guitar.
Wow.
And that made me a better guitar player because I was playing more.
And you have a number of customs too, don't you?
That's usually the way they make it. It's and that's one of my favorite things about ESP is they have different models of guitar, which is perfect for anything that I'm going to be doing. Like I used to be with Gibson. Well, me and Madonna were both with Gibson in the 2000s until they dropped us. But
wait, they dropped you and Madonna?
Yeah. But then it's just like Les Pauls or SGs, Vs. But for ESP, you've got an Eclipse, which is that Les Paul type of guitar. Right. You've got a V, you've got a Strat, you've got a Tele. So I've got all the different options of guitars.
That's awesome.
So I have that variety that I love.
Yeah. Well, I just adore watching you play. I love your music. And you're doing lessons now, right? That like people can actually, no matter where they are in the world, they can contact through your website and set up a lesson. Is that right?
Right. Well, you don't actually have to even go through the website. You can just email me at lessons@montepittman.com. Awesome. And that's and I have several options. You have 30-minute lessons. You have an hour-long lesson. And I even have 7-minute fingers, like 7-minute apps. Yeah. So just quick lesson. So I have every price point. You're going to get more from one lesson with me than you're going to get out of a book or from watching somebody do it on YouTube because we're going to have the interaction with each other. And I've been teaching since I was 15, which I've been teaching for 28 years. And I have been doing this professionally on the biggest stages and also the smallest stages. So I've seen every side of it, which is kind of a rare thing. And so I've just sort of broken it down to where here's what you really need. Here's what works. Yeah. And I could be anywhere in the world. You could be anywhere in the world. We do the lessons over Skype or FaceTime.
That is awesome.
I just filmed a bunch of videos for this company called Jam Play, where
you can like play with the pros, right?
Well, you subscribe. It's a subscription-based service, and there's there's always new guitar players coming in and doing lessons. So you may have 3 different guitar players teaching, this one scale or system of chords. So you get everybody's sort of input and take, because I think the more ways that you see how other people see it kind of helps you understand it.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I love that.
But you want to go to my lesson.
Absolutely. And I mean, you're 100% right. And let's be honest, though, Madonna's going to pick the best person in the world as her teacher, the best person that would teach guitar as her teacher, and that's you. I mean, she's going to go with the best, and she did. And other people now have the option to also learn from the best, one-on-one.
Thank you for that. I mean, there's several great teachers out there, but I mean, I do have something different to bring to the table, and I try to just break it down as simple as possible and make it to where not only are you learning how to play guitar, but you also know how to keep expanding what you know. I teach you in a way where you keep learning. It doesn't end. Where you see that there's no limits, no boundaries to learning that vocabulary, that language. Make that world a smaller place. And you can apply it to other instruments, too. You may learn it on guitar, but you'll understand it where you can play that on piano or clarinet. Because it's all the same stuff. It's all universal.
I love that. I have two more questions for you. One, you have played, pop music, dance music, Latin music, metal music, acoustic. You've played everything, everywhere in the world. What drives you to be able to do that? There's some people that are like, I can only do this. I can only do, flamenco music. I can only do pop. I can only do rock. What is it in you, musically or personally or professionally, that you are able to, do so well in every genre that you've done?
Well, again, going back to the last thing we talked about, music is all the same. You only have 12 notes. Out of those, you're only going to have 7 that you use, and you're not even going to use all of those maybe. It's just the sound and what you put into it that gives it a different style of music. Garth Brooks, Cannibal Corpse, AC/DC, and Miles Davis all played out of the same scale, but it's all the same notes, but they're played in a different way or with a different sound, different vibe, if you will, and that's what gives it a different kind of music.
I love that. What can we expect from you next? You have a new single coming out, right?
Yeah, well, I did a video for the song Changing of the Guard off the Between the Space album.
Yes.
And so we're doing the final edits of that, and there's no deadline, so I'm just kind of living with it, and when it feel like it's ready to send out there, we'll see when Metal Blade has an opening in their schedule when they can release it.
Awesome.
And Madonna's new album is coming out soon, and I hope she does something to promote it and let everybody know she has an album out.
So do I. So you're always working on music. And I know I'm thinking way ahead now, and I've played the last two to death. When approximately can we expect new music from you?
What I'm gonna do next is when I'm going to take my time writing, because there's no rush in me getting out new music now.
Absolutely.
I'm at that point where I can't even play one song off of each album in my set.
Right.
So I want the next album to be so good to where I would just play that entire new album all the way through.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's my goal. I mean, that's not really what we're going to land on, and we'll always change it up.
Yeah.
But I'm writing, and I've got the blueprint of the album. I always have that, and I'm just kind of taking my time with it. And when it's, it'll be. My goal is maybe next summer to start recording it.
Okay.
And then when that's done, I want to kind of forget about it a little bit, and then come back and listen to it. And if I say like, oh yeah, this is perfect, then I'll give it to Metal Blade and just not have a deadline or not have to rush putting it out. Let's let them say this is when we think the best time is for it to come out.
That's awesome.
They have so many big releases and so many big bands.
Yeah, and you're one of them.
And I want to book a tour promoting that album, and then I want to book a tour when the album comes out. So I want to, this next album, whenever it is, I want to have a tour saying, okay, everybody, here's the date, got a new album coming out, and then do another tour saying, all right, everybody, got a new album just came out, here's the first track. So everybody knows about this one.
I love it. I cannot wait. I'm already getting excited about it.
Yeah, I'm treating the next album like, okay, this is the last album I'll ever make, and this has got to be the best thing I ever do.
Right.
Of course, I'll always keep doing that. That's just my frame of mind. It's not like, okay, I don't think of it like, okay, I'm going to do this album, and then I'll do another one, so who cares? Now, I want each song to just be the best thing I've ever done on every level, and then I'll move on and say, okay, now I'll do another song. And it's also, again, talking about like what you have in your, what's doing a set list, that changes how you, how you approach writing. It's like, okay, I know I have this that I'm doing in this song, and I have this in this song. What do I need in my set list? And what do people like?
Right.
People seem to be like, going back to people like this, people like that. People seem to like the stuff that's more on the technical side.
Right.
Like all of my most popular songs, either like if you look on Spotify, there's the song "Arisen in Broad Daylight." It's on Inverted Grasp of Balance. The song has 3 parts to the chorus, so it's almost like the chorus is its own song. I get fascinated with song structures and stuff like that. So there's all of these parts to that song, from a song structure sense, that I've never done before. I've never seen that in another song either. And Before the Morning Sun, which was the song that kind of started it all for me in that level, and it starts with this 2-hand, 4-finger tapping that, like something you would see Stanley Jordan or Joe Satriani doing back in the day, but in a heavier sense.
Right.
And then when the song kicks in, like you've got a part that's in 7/8 time, which is instead of counting at 1, 2, 3, 4, you're counting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So something like that. And on the new album, the track that really went over well live is a song called Evidence.
Yes.
And the same thing, like all the chords are very, it's not your normal chords you would hear in heavy music.
Right.
And it's written out of a different scale. It's from the magic chord.
Oh, okay.
And it's a sound experiment where you put 2 different pianos on opposite sides of a room, and you play the notes, certain notes at half steps, and then certain notes at whole steps apart. And when you stand in the middle of them both, it gives a stereo effect. So when you're moving to the right or the left, that's how the sound changes.
Oh, that's incredible.
So I took those notes and just made that as the scale, and that's how I wrote the riff.
I love it. And where can we find you?
Metal Blade Records, metalblade.com. I have my website, montepittman.com. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just my name, Monte Pittman, MontePittman.
Awesome.
All right. I love Monty so much. He's so amazing.
He is. He's an amazing person as well as a musician.
Yes, he is. I just love him. I can't say enough about him. All right, Kim, are you ever going to come back on the show?
Absolutely. You can have me every week if you want.
Oh, well, we'll discuss that. But all right, you can find Pop Culture Weekly. We're growing every week, and it's all because of you guys. We are on social, of course, at Pop Culture Weekly on Facebook, Pop Culture Pod CA on Twitter. I'm at KMac Music on Twitter and Instagram, and Real Kyle McMahon on Facebook. Make sure you subscribe, subscribe, of course, but make sure that you review us. It really, really, really does help us in the rankings and the charts, and you guys have gotten us to the top 100 on the Apple podcast charts a few times, and that is insane. So that's all because of how awesome you guys are. So anyway, I'll see you next week. We have the Firefly special coming up, which will be exciting. Go get Madam X right now. See you next week.
You're listening to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon, presented by 92.9 Tom FM, an iHeart radio station.
What do you think?
It was interesting.